What if the key to becoming mentally unbreakable was not finding comfort, but embracing discomfort? What if the path to true inner peace required you to confront the harshest realities of existence? For over 2,000 years, the philosophy of Stoicism has offered a brutally honest blueprint for resilience. It is not a philosophy of passive acceptance or emotionless robots, but a rigorous mental training system designed to strip away delusion and fortify the mind against the inevitable chaos of the world. These are not feel-good affirmations, they are hard laws of reality. They are difficult to swallow, yet absolutely essential for anyone serious about achieving profound mental strength. We are going to break down the 8 brutal Stoic laws that fundamentally rewire your mind, forcing you to shift your focus, redefine success, and ultimately become impervious to external misfortune. If you are ready to discard comforting lies and embrace the uncomfortable truths that lead to genuine freedom, then this is where the training begins. The first, and perhaps most foundational, law of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. This law states a simple yet devastating truth. Some things are up to us and most things are not. The brutal aspect of this law is the absolute clarity it demands. You must rigorously separate what lies within your sphere of influence, your judgments, your intentions, your efforts, from everything that lies outside it: the weather, the actions of others, the economy, and the final outcome of your actions. Most of our anxiety, stress, and suffering stems from attempting to exert control over the uncontrollable. We worry about the opinions of others, the results of a project already submitted, or the trajectory of global events. The Stoic law demands that you cease this futile struggle immediately. When you internalize this law, you gain a powerful sense of tranquility. If a problem is outside your control, worrying about it is irrational. If it is within your control, you should be acting, not worrying. The peace derived from the dichotomy of control is not complacency. It is a profound conservation of mental energy, redirecting all effort toward what truly matters: your response. The second brutal law is amor fati, or the love of fate. This goes far beyond mere acceptance. Acceptance is passive. Amor fati is an active, enthusiastic embrace of everything that happens, good or bad. Marcus Aurelius spoke of this, urging us to treat every event as necessary fuel for our character. The universe is a single, interconnected system, and every setback, every challenge, every tragedy is an indispensable component of the whole. To truly practice amor fati means looking at your past mistakes, your current difficulties, and even future hardships and saying, "I would not have this event be any different." This is not fatalism, it is the ultimate expression of self-possession. By loving everything that happens, you deny external events the power to disturb your inner life. You transform obstacles into opportunities and adversity into training. When you stop fighting reality, you become profoundly grounded and resilient. The third law is the practice of negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. Modern psychology often promotes positive thinking, but Stoicism recognized the danger of complacency. Negative visualization is the deliberate practice of contemplating the loss of everything you value: your health, your possessions, your relationships, and even your life. Why would you do this? Because we take everything for granted until it is gone. We assume stability, and when instability inevitably arrives, we are shattered. By regularly contemplating the worst-case scenarios, the Stoics achieved 2 critical things. First, they immunized themselves against the shock of misfortune. When loss arrives, they have already rehearsed the situation mentally. Second, and more importantly, this practice generates immediate, profound gratitude. When you realize your spouse, your job, or your physical ability could be gone tomorrow, you appreciate them intensely today. Negative visualization is not pessimism. It is a powerful tool for generating present happiness and future resilience. The fourth law is the acknowledgement of the transient nature of all things, often encapsulated in the phrase memento mori, or remember you will die. This law forces an uncomfortable confrontation with the impermanence of existence. Everything you see, touch, and care about is dissolving. Your body is aging, your relationships are changing, and the world around you is in constant flux. The brutal wisdom here is that attachment to anything temporary is a guarantee of future suffering. If you build your identity or your happiness on things that are inherently unstable, money, fame, beauty, you are setting yourself up for collapse. By meditating on death and decay, the Stoic gains perspective. It highlights the urgency of the present moment and the triviality of petty concerns. If your life is brief, why waste it on anger, envy, or chasing fleeting externals? This law rewires your priorities, focusing your attention only on actions that possess enduring value, namely, your character. The fifth law addresses the indifference of externals. This law dictates that things like wealth, poverty, health, illness, status, and obscurity are morally neutral. They are indifference. They have no intrinsic ability to make a person good or bad, happy or miserable. True good resides only in the quality of your moral choices. The Stoics recognize that some externals are preferred indifference. Health is naturally preferred over sickness, but they are still indifferent because they cannot guarantee virtue or happiness. If you are virtuous, being poor does not negate your goodness. If you are vicious, being rich does not save you. This law is brutal because it completely undermines the modern societal fixation on material success and status. It forces you to look past the veneer of external achievement and evaluate life based solely on the integrity of your inner intentions. When you truly internalize this, the fear of failure or the desire for excessive praise loses its grip entirely. The sixth brutal law is that virtue is the only good. This is the positive counterpart to the indifference of externals. If external things cannot provide lasting happiness, then what can? The Stoics concluded that the only reliable, consistent good is virtue, the excellence of the soul. This is typically broken down into four cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Wisdom is the ability to navigate life rationally. Justice is treating others fairly and honestly. Courage is facing fear and acting rightly despite danger. Temperance is self-control and moderation. These virtues are entirely within your control, and crucially, they cannot be taken away by fortune, calamity, or other people. A virtuous mind is a mind that is operating optimally, and optimal operation is happiness itself. This law demands a complete reorientation of your life's purpose. Stop chasing things and start chasing character. This pursuit of internal excellence is what makes the mind unshakable. The seventh law, famously explored by Marcus Aurelius, is that the obstacle is the way. When a difficulty arises, most people see a roadblock and retreat. The Stoic sees raw material for action. This law states that every single obstacle you encounter is not merely an inconvenience, but a necessary opportunity to practice a virtue. If someone insults you, it is an opportunity to practice temperance and patience. If a project fails, it is an opportunity to practice resilience and wisdom in finding a new path. If you face physical pain, it is an opportunity to practice courage. The obstacle does not impede action, it directs action. The Stoic mind is wired to instantly translate setbacks into specific, meaningful challenges. This prevents paralysis and turns potential frustration into focused effort. By viewing challenges as training exercises designed specifically for your growth, you ensure that nothing that happens to you is ever truly wasted. Finally, the eighth law is the sanctity of the inner citadel. This law asserts that your mind, your faculty of judgment, is an inviolable fortress. No external force, no person, and no event can truly harm you unless you permit it to. They can harm your body, they can take your possessions, and they can try to damage your reputation, but they cannot compel you to agree with their assessment or change your fundamental moral character. Epictetus, a former slave, understood this law profoundly. He recognized that while his body was owned by another, his mind remained his own. The only thing that causes distress is not the event itself, but the judgment you place upon the event. If you judge poverty as the worst thing imaginable, you suffer. If you judge it as merely an inconvenience that allows you to focus on virtue, you remain free. This law is the ultimate declaration of mental sovereignty. By constantly guarding your judgments and ensuring your inner reaction is rational and aligned with virtue, you become the undisputed ruler of your own mind, creating a fortress that is truly unbreakable. These 8 laws are not easy. They demand rigorous self-awareness and continuous practice. They require you to look at the world and yourself with unflinching honesty. They are brutal because they strip away the comforting illusions that society and our own minds use to shield us from reality. But in this stripping away, we find true strength. By accepting the dichotomy of control, loving our fate, preparing for loss, acknowledging impermanence, valuing only virtue, seeing externals as indifferent, treating obstacles as training, and fortifying our inner citadel, we achieve a state of mental resilience that cannot be eroded by the tides of fortune. The Stoic journey is a commitment to continuous self-mastery. It is not about avoiding suffering, but about transforming suffering into fuel. The reward for embracing these brutal laws is not a life free of problems, but a mind free of fear. You gain the power to stand firm, unwavering, regardless of the storm raging outside. The choice is now yours. Continue to be tossed by the waves of external events, or begin the difficult, rewarding work of rewiring your mind to become fundamentally and brutally unbreakable. This transformation begins with the application of the first law right now, in your current circumstances. Take one moment today and ruthlessly identify what you are trying to control that is not yours to manage. Let it go. That simple act is the first step toward building your inner citadel. If you found this breakdown valuable in your pursuit of mental resilience, consider subscribing for more deep dives into philosophies and concepts that truly matter. Applying these laws is a lifelong practice, and we are here to guide you through the journey.